So the WBC have gone and pulled a surprise move, and they've ordered a fight between Lomachenko and Luke Campbell for the vacant lightweight title. Now, this is it's a bit of a surprise move because general protocol, general rule of thumb, generally what these governing bodies do is if they have a vacant title, they just order a fight between the two highest ranked available fighters to fight for that belt. In this instance, it would have been Luke Campbell against Devin Haney because Luke Campbell's ranked number 1, Devin Haney's ranked number 3, number 2 Abdullayev is currently observing Ramadan, so he can't fight anytime soon. And the WBC have not followed what governing bodies generally tend to do. Now, before I share my opinion on this, I just want to kind of read out a couple of tweets that I've seen in relation to Eddie Hearn's reaction to this decision by the WBC. So our guy Mike Coppinger tweeted this earlier, and this is what he said. Spoke to Eddie Hearn, who's frustrated with the WBC's decision to sanction Vasyl Lomachenko vs Luke Campbell for the lightweight title vacated by Mikey Garcia. Hearn promotes Campbell and Devin Haney, and the expectation was they would meet for the belt. And this is the quote that Eddie Hearn gave Mike Coppinger. What's the point in aligning yourself with an organisation, working your way up the rankings, paying fees only to be overlooked by a champion from another governing body? It should be contested by the two highest ranked available fighters. And those two guys are obviously Campbell and Haney. The next tweet isn't a quote, but he says, so now Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn will work toward a deal for Lomachenko and Campbell, a fight that will take place in the UK, which is good news for us UK fans. That'll probably be on Sky Sports. And the last bit was Hearn also noted WBC gave the Dillian Whyte a raw deal. Whyte, despite some big wins, has never fought for a title. He's boxed for about 5 people in the WBC's top 10, defended the silver title multiple times, 2 official eliminators, yet Brazil is mandatory. So that's Eddie Hearn's take on the situation. So Eddie Hearn feels like he's getting screwed left, right and centre by the WBC and the decisions they're making. Now, in my personal opinion, on this occasion, I'm all for what the WBC are doing. Like, for me personally, the way these rankings work, right? So okay, I'm not an expert, but the way I think these rankings work, because I don't think anyone fucking knows how these rankings work, but the way I think they work is if you have fights sanctioned by a particular governing body, you get to work your way up their rankings. So it's not practical, it's not possible to have a single fight sanctioned by all of the 4 main governing bodies. So what fighters tend to do is concentrate on one governing body and try and work with that governing body to work their way up the rankings to get in a position to eventually fight for the world title. That's what Luke Campbell's done. He's been fighting in fights sanctioned by the WBC, which is why he's managed to get himself in a position where he's ranked number 1 in their rankings, right? So you can't argue with Luke Campbell with what he's done. He's just kind of worked within the confines of the rules of the game, and he's got himself in a position to get a title shot. But I'm not angry at the WBC for giving Lomachenko that fight, because let's face it, he's the best 135-pound fighter in the world. What is the biggest frustration in the heavyweight division for me at the moment is we're not seeing a fight for a unified heavyweight world champion because of boxing politics, because of fucking TV deals, blah blah blah. I've been going on about it for months. Now on this occasion, the WBC have gone and acted a little bit out of the ordinary, but I think it's for the good of the sport. Yeah, Luke Campbell's worked his way up. Yeah, Devin Haney's worked his way up. Yeah, these guys have worked their way up. But let's be honest, none of them are as good as Lomachenko. Lomachenko is the best fighter in the world, pound for pound, in my opinion. Lomachenko has asked for the opportunity to fight for the WBC title, and he's earned it. He's earned the right to fight for that title by the people that he's beaten in the manner in which he's beaten them. You can't argue with his skills and talent in the ring, and that's what this fucking whole thing should be about, right? boxing for me shouldn't be about politics with different governing bodies. It shouldn't be about TV deals. It shouldn't be about, oh well, you know, I've got these many Instagram followers and you've only got those many. The only time you start thinking about that kind of stuff is when there's outlandish requests being made, such as Deontay Wilder asking for a 50-50 split with Anthony Joshua. Then you have to start looking at all these other metrics. But when you have an opportunity for the best fighter in a weight class to fight for a belt that he doesn't have already, you should give him that opportunity. You should. There's no two ways about it. Now, personally, I feel sorry for Luke Campbell because he's been working his way up the WBC rankings because that's the one belt that Lomachenko hasn't got, thinking that he'll probably fight someone that he can potentially beat. And he gets his title shot, and it's against Lomachenko, and he stands little to no chance of winning that. So I feel sorry for him. If you look at other weight divisions, you know, where you got belts spread out, you can be a bit more tactical in terms of what rankings, or sorry, what governing body you use to try and move up their rankings to try and get closer to a title shot against someone that you think is beatable. The lightweight division isn't like that because Lomachenko already has 2 of those belts, and this will be the 3rd. So I feel sorry for Luke Campbell to an extent, but this is a sport at the end of the day. And it's what Ric Flair said. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And unfortunately, Luke Campbell's got to beat Lomachenko to gain his first ever world title. I feel sorry for him, man, because he fought Jorge Linares a couple of years back. And that was a tough fight. And it wasn't a fight that a lot of people gave him much of a chance in. And he done a lot better than a lot of people thought he would in that fight. Even though he lost it. I think he lost it on points at the end, or it was a late stoppage. I think it was actually on points. But, you know, he's built himself back up again, changed trainers. I think he changed trainers twice since then. And, you know, he's got himself into a position and he's fighting Lomachenko. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I just watched his interview with Boxing Social and he seems well up for it. He seems excited at the opportunity. And that's what fighters do. They're excited about fighting the best fighters. They want to be in the ring with the best fighters. But also, I think he'd want to retire saying that he won an Olympic gold and he won a world title. Now, I'm not saying if he loses this fight, that's it for him. I don't even think he's that old. He's probably about 30 or something. I'm not exactly sure how old he is, but he's not, you know, past it by any stretch of the imagination. But it's going to be a tough task. It's a big ask for him to step in the ring with Lomachenko and get any sort of success. It will be hard for him. It will be hard, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the decision that the WBC have made. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's not in line with what they generally tend to do. But just from a strictly sporting perspective, they're giving their #1 ranked fighter a fight against the consensus #1 ranked fighter in that division. How can you knock it? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Don't be scared to share this video. Don't be scared to like it. And please, 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 if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you fuckers on the next one.